Hi guys, Aditya this side, and welcome to the fifth edition of Conversations on Crypto. Today we have with us James Dean Owell, and James has been a previous YouTube star. His name was Pro Gadamed there, and he used to. Currently, he's streaming, live on Twitch. He loves to stream games on Twitch, and now he's also gotten into learning crypto and helping other people learn crypto with him. Welcome, James. Welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you.
Let's start, James. I would love to know a little bit more about you and what attracted you to crypto. So, basically, YouTubing, then Twitching, and now crypto. So, how come crypto?
Well, it's probably because I have so much free time. It's kind of like become a hobby of mine to do a ton of research. I mean, I spend hours and hours doing research on individual coins, and I like money. I'm a banker, and I work in banking sales. And I hope to learn a little bit more about investments in general, but money draws me to it essentially.
Right. Purely money and the fact that you worked in banks. So, I mean, did this attract you a little more towards crypto, or how was it like? Say you're working in a bank, and crypto is kind of like opposite to what a bank stands for. So, how do these two match?
Well, crypto and banking are kind of it's a weird relationship because I am a bank, and a lot of the part of the crypto is supposed to be decentralized and not supposed to need a bank. But the thing about crypto is that it's global, right? I feel like if I learn it and I know how to invest well and know as much as I can, I will be a lot more free than if I'm just working for one individual corporation. So it's also about freedom as well.
Right. So I mean, if I were to put a word to it, I think crypto gives you a direction towards financial freedom.
Yes, that is exactly it.
Right. And financial freedom gives you a lot of time to actually spend it doing what you love. And
exactly.
That is perhaps the motivation and the inspiration to work so hard on individual coins and research the hell out of them, right?
Yeah, absolutely. That's what I'm working towards, being, financially free. I feel like this is an opportunity that, especially for millennials, that we haven't really gotten. We're kind of like the middle children of history.
Right.
So now is the time where we could take advantage of that shift in wealth to the millennials. And this crypto is kind of that opportunity.
I mean, I totally agree with you on this fact that, we've been the middle children in history, and for once we've got this thing wherein we're at the right spot at the right time. So if we can make use of this time, then I'm pretty sure that we can actually get towards a financial independence pretty quick.
It's an opportunity, great opportunity.
Right. So how long have you been like into crypto? How much time has been?
I would say about a year, right? A year or so now.
Right.
Going back, I started around this time last year, and that was like right before the China FUD.
Right.
Like a few months before the China FUD. So when I got into crypto, it actually was going down. So like I had to kind of figure out, okay, what do I do? How do I actually
stop losing money? Right.
What's going on? And so that's the kind of the environment I came into.
At least your expectations were set with the entire game. You put in money and it goes down, and then in November, December, you must have been pleasantly surprised, I guess.
Yeah. I made a good bit of profit, even despite the China FUD, because I'm very stubborn. I don't sell when the market's going down. No matter what, I refuse.
Right, you're a hodler, huh?
Yeah, I'm a hodl. I'm a hodl. Hodl gang.
Hodl gang. Right, yeah. I mean, it's a new bloody cult coming out, man. Like, people are just going nuts over something that it's like a tribe. It's like a tribe of people. I mean, you and me talking to each other. This wouldn't have been possible if both of us weren't passionate about the same thing, right? I mean, the world's gonna change, I feel. I mean, it's gonna change for the better, I guess. So
yeah.
All right. So basically, it's been 1 year for you, doing crypto, researching about it, and making some money also. So what are your rules? What are your learnings up till now? Like, I mean, if you would just to summarize that for the viewers, what are the rules you play with?
Well, I actually think I'm one of the more conservative investors out there, because I come from, because I've been doing banking longer than I've been doing crypto. I really value something being presented well, something being sold in a professional manner. I like things that like have good fundamentals.
Right.
So I have strict rules set. I have a document. My due diligence document is out there. You can go to it on Google Documents, and you can see like I have everything. Like this is worth this. This is this. So you can actually see how my mind works.
It's presented very well, man. Like that's I mean, to tell everybody, that is how I found James. I mean, I was just browsing Reddit one day and I found your document, and I literally like pinged on the document in the comments how to contact you.
Yeah.
That's how I met James, with the document. So yeah. I mean, I can totally agree with that. Right.
Yeah, it's very formulaic, I'd say. I like hard numbers and things like that.
Right. So hard numbers and objective things is what convinces you to put your money in a place.
Yeah. Well, I try to. I guess I kind of, when I come into a crypto and when I'm reviewing it and trying to figure out what I want to put my mind to, I have this philosophy of try to take the emotion out of it as much as possible. Try to be as objective as possible, which is why I tried to put it into numbers.
Right.
So I can see what actually meets the standard and try to make it so I'm not like one of the people who are like, this is the best idea ever. And then it's lacking fundamentals. I don't want to get trapped in my mindset. So much as possible, I want to take my emotions out of it.
Right. And I mean, so my question to you here would be that, like, do you do any kind of a fundamental or technical analysis on these, the investments you do? Or, I mean, how is it like? Is it your own rules by which you evaluate them? Or is it something you adopted from banking sector? Or like, what are the parameters like? Like just a small example.
It's evolving over time. I mean, a lot of this stuff I've learned from other people. I've kind of took some stuff, and then I've kind of integrated my own. And it's just kind of really the rule set that I use to judge coins is kind of getting from everyone. It's not just me. I take I take tips,
inspiration, tips from a lot of people, and then try and expose their own learnings. All right.
Exactly.
Great. So, I mean, let's talk about the project that resulted in we getting together. So, this project is on due diligence, and James has done covered quite a few bit of coins in this. So, if you could tell us about this, why did you start this, and why are you updating it? What is the motivation behind this?
Motivation behind it, again, it's going towards that financial freedom.
Right.
I feel like not only can I share my knowledge with other people, which I clearly enjoy doing because I had a YouTube channel before doing that exact thing, but I feel like I can gain knowledge as well. So it's not just me telling you what to do. It's all in telling you what I know. It's also me seeing what you know and adding to kind of like a collective knowledge. And so I feel like that kind of interaction is really fulfilling to me. I like that kind of interaction, a kind of community, a kind of teacher give and take community. So that's what keeps me going. This is the community.
Right. So, I mean, if I were to ask you, like, what kind of comments do you get on that Google Doc? I mean, I can see that a lot of people are reading it. A lot of people are always on that Google Doc, So what kind of comments and what kind of feedback do you get there? It's like, how do you interact with these guys? What happens?
Well, it's funny because...
Do people email you often like me? Like, how do you get in touch with you? Or do they give you feedback? What do they do?
A few people email me. I don't really respond to all of them, depending on what they email me about.
Right.
Like especially if someone's like, someone like pumping up groups. Like I don't respond to those emails. Right. But really, the number one thing that people comment on my Google document is correcting my grammar. they proofread my Google document for me, and like I think it's awesome. But also like just making my Google document easier to read. Like someone just commented today that I should provide bookmarks for each coin that I've reviewed, so you can just click on the coin and go straight to the review. So I'm constantly making improvement to it, and I did implement that, so it's a lot easier to navigate now.
Right. So how many coins have you covered up till now in this Google Doc? I mean,
oh man, about maybe 15 or 20 so far.
15 or 20. And how much time does it take for you to evaluate like a coin to put it here? I mean, how much time do you
on average, about 4 to 5 hours each coin.
So you spend 4 to 5 hours literally on each coin to evaluate if it is worth putting in the doc or not, and even if the fundamentals are worth it or not, right?
There are some of them, I would say about 4 or 5. I didn't feel strong enough to go forward,
Right,
but most of them I do go forward, and anything where I do go forward, that means they meet the basic requirements. That means I see that they have a decent team,
right,
that they have either the team is the biggest thing. They can have an MVP. If they don't have a good team, they don't have an MVP. I don't move forward.
right.
Or if they have a decent team, no MVP, but they have good um, like a good score in CoinGecko, like their GitHub is active and they
Mhm.
actually have progress, then I'll
Right,
go for it.
right,
But
right,
if you don't
right.
have a good team, you don't have a product, and you don't have I don't see that you're working on something, then I don't go for it. But very few coins don't meet that metric.
So,
So.
okay, so blunt question. Do you actually read white papers before you invest?
Yes, I read. In fact, I documented reading. I stream, and then I put the stream on my YouTube channel, and you can literally see me just staring at a white paper and just like mumbling, like, yeah.
Okay. Oh, I
Okay.
mean, that is such a nice idea. You can actually do that, man. You can put up white papers and show people that you're spending so much time. You know, how do you analyze it? What goes through your brain when you're reading the
Yeah,
white paper? That's a
that's
pretty cool idea.
that
Yeah.
was my core idea when I started the channel. I'm like, I'm gonna stream my entire due diligence. It's
Yeah.
gonna
Right.
be really boring because it's
Right.
just 5 hours of me just staring at things and like, oh, okay, just clicking through, and
Right.
like just learning.
Hmm.
Like, but if someone's like, did you even read the white paper? I'm like, yes, I did. Here you go. Here's the timeline right there. You can watch me read that white paper for 45 minutes. Have fun, bro.
I mean, that is good, yeah. I mean, yeah, okay, so you read the white papers, you look at the team, you look at the GitHub profile, you look at if the team is the MVP or not. All right. So, okay. So, one question: do you also look at the industry in which a coin is? Are you like? Do you also have an industry comfort level or the product comfort level that I understand this product, so I want to, research more about it, and I don't understand it, so I will probably not research more about that product. Is that also a factor?
That is a factor. So I kind of I try to figure out when I review a coin what the size of the industry they're going into is.
Right.
Use good coins will tell me that, like, as soon as I actually go to the website or the white paper.
Right.
So coins that are presented well, they'll actually give me the metrics. This
Hmm.
is the size of the industry, and this is what we're trying to do, and we're trying to take a slice of the pie for the industry. A lot
Right.
of coins don't, and it really annoys me. So I have to do my own research. But you will actually see it's not actually a metric that I give points to, but
Hmm.
I kind of put a note to myself about how big the thing they're going to is, and I kind
Right.
of it kind of goes into one of my point systems, which is the value of the coin.
Right.
That's one of the things used to adjust the value of the coin is the value of the industry they're going into.
Right. 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 Absolutely. So,
Also, the not just the value of the industry, but the size of the pie. I think they're likely to
right,
get.
like that depends on the team and the kind of execution these guys do. Like, how big is the industry? How good is the team, and what can they execute?
Yeah, it's kind of more it's more art than science. I'll say
Mhm.
that. trying to have that tuition about how big do I really think you're gonna how big of a bite I think you're gonna take out of this pie. I'm not sure. We'll see. It's kind of
Yeah.
intuition thing.
Right, right, right. I mean, I think that is the exciting part of crypto investing, that you take in all these data points, you talk to a lot of people, and then you figure out, okay, I want to place my bets, or I want to place my belief behind these projects and hope that they do really well. And you know,
Yeah.
crypto also makes you a part of the entire project by giving you a token. So yeah, that is pretty sweet. Okay, so coming to technical analysis, do you also do any kind of technical analysis when you invest in coins or when you are like trading crypto, or is it just fundamental for you?
It's just fundamental. So I've seen people do technical analysis. I mean, I think there's entire YouTube channels that are doing really well
Right,
who pretty much all they do is technical analysis.
right,
And from what I've seen, like like I don't think that technical analysis actually gives any predictive power.
right,
Um, and yeah, maybe it does. I'm just not convinced. So I
right,
really don't try to focus on trying to time the market, try to see, try to read charts and what kind of motion this is doing and what
right,
kind of signs is going on.
right,
I just want to identify the good coins, put
right.
my money in it, not worry about it for a year.
Right, right, right.
or a year or 5, you
I
know.
mean, that is a pretty sweet crypto investor type approach, and I think that is good to have. It is the investing approach is to each his own. Anybody who wants to be
Yeah,
a trader can obviously do that. Anybody who wants to
absolutely.
be an investor can obviously do that, and the rules will always be different for both of them, I guess. Right?
Absolutely. And I'm not saying that there's no value in the technical analysis.
Right.
It's just I think I have a higher threshold
Right.
I have a lower threshold for risk.
Right.
Minimizing risk is a really big with me. I think I'm one of the more conservative investors, and so anything that's going to add to risk,
Right.
not for me, but I can definitely see the appeal for other people.
All right. Okay. So this question is coming after this. Do you buy the dip? If you're an investor, then you must be buying the dip.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Pretty much my savings
Right.
currently goes
Right.
into buying the dip. Oh, it's not my savings, but I reserve a certain amount of my paycheck each
Right.
month to
Right.
buy the dip every time. And
Right.
I actually have a list of cryptos I buy, and there's always like a target I hit, but I am never not buying,
Uh,
never not buying.
Never not buy. So okay, so I mean, if I were to ask you this simple question, how do you manage your money in crypto? Like, so a lot of times, what I see people doing is that they put in the entire money into the crypto immediately, and then when the damn thing dips, you have nothing to put in more, right? So how do you manage this entire buying the dip cycle, and you never take out of, so you never liquidated money out of crypto? How is it like? Like, do you, when BTC hit 19,000, did you take some off, or did you let it ride to 7,000, 6,000?
I did take some off when I gained, like, recently one of my lists just went up to
Right,
$35, and I
right.
bought it when I was at like $4 or something like
Okay,
that.
okay, okay.
And I sold a portion of it, but then I
Okay,
just bought back into crypto. So it's like,
right.
because
Uh-huh.
the dip came right after that. So
Right.
I really don't hold on to money very long because I'm like, oh, I need to buy this thing and this thing and this thing. So
I
and
mean,
like I'm very comfortable financially because I have a steady job.
right.
So like I don't feel compelled to keep a lot of my money liquid. I'd say about 5% of my assets are liquid
All right, all right. The rest is always invested someplace.
in something, in
Something,
something.
something or the other is invested. So I mean, so I'll ask the question. So James, if you could just tell us, like, what are the kind of parameters that you've used for different coins on the due diligence sheet, and why are they important to you? That will help a lot of our users who are also crypto investors like you evaluate coins fundamentally well.
Yeah, I would say I have a huge metric. Of course, hopefully you want to check out my Google document and see for yourself. But let me give you a little bit more insight into my
Right,
different metrics. I kind of They usually go from 0 to 10. Most of the metrics are from 0 to 5 or 0 to 10, and then
right,
team is very important. If you don't have a great team, I'm not going to be giving you my money. So that is actually from 0 to 20.
right. Okay.
Right.
Hmm.
Another one that I really like is, does it need a blockchain?
Hmm.
Because a lot of products, even if they have good ideas,
Right.
they their ideas aren't innovative enough to
Hmm.
warrant this new startup to what I think will warrant a new startup. Like, if a centralized product is already doing it very well,
Hmm.
um, are you really using the immutability,
Hmm.
the privacy,
Hmm.
the verifiability of the blockchain, and is that really going to add to your product? And
Hmm.
if I don't think so, then I'm not going to give you a max score.
Right. 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 Right.
So
Right.
the team is huge.
Hmm.
MVP is nice. That's minimal viable product. That means you have
Right.
something to work with. Something,
Hmm.
there was something that you show is the results of your labor. So I can actually
Right.
see that your team is actually competent in producing something.
Right.
Not every coin has an MVP.
Hmm.
So that's around 10 points. But if
Right.
you have a good team, if I think your coin needs a blockchain,
Hmm.
if I think it solves an important problem, that's
Right.
also its own metric.
Right.
Um, if I think that it's going to have a long-term value, that means I looked at the market. I see that there is a problem that's not being solved in the market, or a big problem, or a
Right.
niche that's not being filled, and you are bringing a solution to that problem, or
Right.
you are bringing crypto into that niche, then
Right.
those are probably going to be one of the better coins.
Right. 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 So you also mentioned something about the GitHub score. The development score a team has. Is that also important for you?
Yes, I look at the GitHub score. An easy way to measure it is to go to CoinGecko
Right.
.com, and usually the average for a development score is around 60%.
Right.
And then I give points based on how close you are to the average. If you're below or below above, that means that I see you're actually producing something.
Right. Right.
So
Right.
even if I can't verify your team, or if I don't think you have a great team with a lot of past experience, if you
Right.
have a high GitHub score, then I may say, okay, well, maybe I'll look further.
Right, right, right. So it has to be a confluence of all these factors. It will not be just one of them which will make you, invest. It will be a confluence of all these factors and also the white paper, I guess, right?
Yeah, I mean, the white paper is just there to help you fill in these factors. I mean,
Right,
investing on just on one factor, I mean, you really want to invest on as many. You really want to fill your mind with the knowledge and
right,
in-depth knowledge of the thing you're investing in. Not
right.
only does it, and really it's a psychological effect.
Hmm.
I think one of the strongest effects that it has is it's going to make you hold when the market goes down.
Right,
You're not going to
right.
panic sell because you know you've convinced yourself, you've internalized the value of
Value.
what you're putting your money in. So that means you're going to hold it for the long term. So
Right,
even if something, even if you don't have the next Microsoft and coin, the
right.
fact that you're not going to sell and panic sell,
Hmm.
that's going to make it so you don't lose a lot of money.
Right.
Just that alone.
Right. I mean, that's a very nice point to put the way you put it that if you don't research, if you don't fundamentally research out the coins well, if you don't convince yourself that the place you're investing in is good, then obviously when the market crashes, the first one to pull out money is going to be you. I mean,
Yeah, exactly. That's how you
that
get wrecked.
yeah, yeah, that makes so much sense. So I mean, guys, just learn, we could learn from James in this that the amount of hard work he does to evaluate one coin, the different parameters he chooses, the GitHub score, the team strength, MVP out or not, does it actually need a blockchain or not, and at the same time he's also reading the white paper really well. So this is the minimum effort you guys need to do before you choose any coin to invest in. And I think this is one of the major reasons why I wanted to bring James on the conversation of crypto, because it's clear, man, that if you're not putting in this research, if you're not, you know, uh, getting inside why is it being done, I don't think that you can survive these markets really well. It will be very difficult.
Absolutely, and really one of the psychological effect is huge because
Right.
you may have your money in a really great coin, but if you sell, then
Hmm.
it really doesn't matter. So you really have to convince yourself.
Convince yourself.
In understanding blockchain, you don't have to be a tech engineer to
Hmm.
really to understand blockchain. I think that if I want the viewers to get a really important thing out of this is
Hmm.
that blockchain is a solution.
Hmm.
Okay, there as long as there's a solution, it's bringing something to the table.
Hmm.
If there isn't a problem being solved, then
Hmm.
why does it need a blockchain? Why does this thing exist? And if you
Right.
can't answer that definitely, then you may want to really think about what you're putting your money into.
Right, 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 right. I agree with this completely. So, James, coming to the end of this entire talk, what would you like to tell our users? Like, if you had to give these guys a message at the end of it, like, what would your message be?
I would think I want to stick with the theme of internal, like, guarantee that you know the value of where you're putting your money in.
Hmm.
Internalize the thing you're putting your money in. Have as much, be able to be that guy who is on the internet who can answer any question about every coin you put your money into, who
Right,
can browse a forum. Someone can knock on your door and say, hey, tell me about this. Why should I invest in this? This is garbage. You say, actually, this,
right, right,
because you
right.
know everything about it. Because the more you know, the more you're going to internalize that, and the
Hmm.
more you're going to be able to make rational decisions, and you're going to be able to take the emotion out of the
Right.
investment.
Right, right. So, guys, I mean, if you don't have that much confidence in your coins in which you've invested, I guess you should reconsider your investments. Probably look at the sheet. I mean, one of the most valuable sheets I've seen in a long time, and it gives you a decent idea into what coins you can invest in. Disclaimer: this is none of it is financial advice. It is basically us sharing our learning with you, and this is the sheet is basically James sharing his diligence with you. So none of it is administered advice, but it can really help you understand better about these coins. So please don't take any of our talks or whatever we say as investment advice. Clear disclaimer here. I'll put this in the description of the video also. So,
Yeah,
but
it's on my sheet as well. It's on my
yeah.
Google document.
Right, but do go through that. You'll see an interesting way of analyzing coins fundamentally. That will probably help you choose better coins to invest in, and internalize them better, in James' words, and be with those coins when the market is not with them. So thanks a lot, James. It was great talking to you.
Man, my pleasure.
Man,
It was great talking to you, man.
all right,
Have a
bye
good
bye,
one.
James. See you.